So we're back in the studio learning about pen-based computing with Rob Yearsley from Collusion. Rob, there's so many use cases, examples of where it's successful. Education, let's drill down on that.
Yeah, we actually partner with a school down in Melbourne called St Michael's, which is a great, fairly exclusive, expensive little school with a big focus on technology and innovation. Yeah, so they were willing to take a punt on us. And what we worked on with them is to actually introduce Collusion into an education setting of primary school students, and we ran a Collusion Day. So basically we had a series of lessons where the teacher would prepare a lesson plan using Collusion, and basically all the students in the class, 25 students, all had iPads, all had Collusion, and basically they're doing project work together. What was fascinating is the reaction to the kids. Obviously kids pick up technology quickly. They just went to this like a duck to water because it's a pen, they know how that works, they know an iPad, that's cool. But what we saw out of that was the kids were actually, those students that were typically fairly withdrawn and hard to engage were actually becoming very engaged in the process.
Engagement, yeah, okay.
So what's interesting, what feedback we're getting from the principal and the teachers out of that is engagement equals retention of information and knowledge. Knowledge equals basically better academic performance. So
there's an iron bar connecting your product directly to academic results there.
It appears there is, and that was interesting to discover that in the first half hour of use of the technology, because we'd never actually taken this in the field. It was our first field test of the technology that day, and with half an hour expectations were met, then exceeded. And that was awesome, just to see how this stuff can actually
So the iPad is becoming almost standard tool certainly in the developed countries, and with the production costs for the Android tablets falling through the floor, it's pretty much going to become a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
Are you thinking it's just an incremental hardware purchase, or hardware and software, or just software in the longer term?
I think that there's an appeal around something new and shiny about having a pen, because there's sort of that natural thing. It's a pad, you want a pen, it's that. So in the first instance, I think a lot of motivation from the consumer end and interest there is just the pen.
And you're giving them the whole package.
We give them the whole package. Yeah. So what happens when
one low monthly fee?
One low monthly. We haven't actually determined what that's going to be yet, but that's where the business is going. But what we're finding is that by putting the pen in the hand of people with a tablet computer, it's an enabling technology. So you don't buy a computer for the keyboard. And it's the same situation with a pen for the iPad. So I believe this whole space of pen computing is basically unexplored. All we've done is try and ape physical media on a digital device so far, writing and drawing on an iPad. How we actually evolve that technology is going to be really interesting, because at the moment all you're doing on an iPad with a pen is just static work. It's like finger painting or working on a cave wall. There's not much difference. So it's an interconnected device. I mean, there's so much more we can do with it, and a lot of what we're doing in Collusion, this fundamental research we're doing and work, is figuring out what that thing might be, and it's awesome. It's so much fun.
And this is not your first startup, so you've had lots of lessons along the way.
Yeah.
And that's why I think there's a genuine comfort and confidence that's coming through every time I talk to you.
Yeah.
And you've been able to choose a product that is genuinely broad use across multiple industries.
Yeah.
Which I love to see. But your background was in what did you originally
mostly,
work in?
actually, funny enough, I started in tablet computing just before the first .com boom. And I was more interested in...
We won't ask your age.
Is my grey hair showing? That was a while ago. But basically I was working on the premise that we wanted a more personal computer, and I thought tablet computing was the way to go. And this is like early 2000s. So I came up with a design for a very lightweight tablet computer, and the concept was you'd actually have these apps that you would download onto it that were around lifestyle, personal use, not about productivity or Word or doing documents or surfing that. They're little apps, and you have this thing called an app store that you can download them from. And we packaged it all up.
I'm seeing a theme here. You tried a few of these things early on.
We're doing this stuff. So this is back in 2003. We took it to Apple, which was an interesting experience. But yeah, we learned a lot. I mean, that project was spanned 7 years. That was a big, massive startup. So that was my first. So go in, go big, go hard, and sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't. We didn't on that one. But yeah, it's been a long journey, and you learn a lot along the way.
Well, it sounds like you're already way ahead in the Collusion project than you were in some of your previous endeavours.
Yeah.
And clearly that learning is paying off, and people that get to know you realise that this is one of the big ones. So.
Yeah.
Good luck with Collusion. I think it really is going to be one of the ones. All the best.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Nice.